What's going on, everyone? Today I wanted to share a few tips and examples on how to kill the new boss, the Maggot King. This video is aimed at people like me who aren't Grandmasters, looking to count ticks and do everything as optimally as possible. This is for people who want to string together some kills easily wearing stuff they already have in the bank. So I'll be sharing two examples today, one of which is more budget than what you're seeing here, which admittedly there's a Vernic Treads, so I understand what you're thinking, but I promise you there will be a budget example coming up after the first kill, so don't feel priced out. The Maggot King has essentially three stages: a major range only phase, an alternating phase where you'll switch between mage or range and then into melee, and then the final enrage phase where you'll be using just melee, which is optimal with a crush style weapon. This is the setup for the first kill, and with that, let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into the first example kill. First things first, I like to pot up right outside. So I drink my range and my antidote and head on in. Pray range. He always starts with range and then alternates between range into mage over and over again. Some of my thrall, and I avoid the shadows. If you run 2 tiles away, you can always avoid them. I just look for the space to try and keep them consolidated as possible as I'm starting it out. But you can always run 2 and avoid any of the splats. One will always be where you're standing, and then the other 2 will be adjacent tiles. So turn off protection prayers when he does his screech. After that, turn on to your next prayer, which will be mage. Like I said, it alternates. With the screech as well, you're going to want to avoid first hit. There'll be follow-up hits from the carry-on that he's throwing. But first hit does way more damage than follow-up hit. I don't really care to avoid follow-up hit. I'd rather just make sure I get the right prayers up. So just DPS as much as possible right here. Turn off protection prayer when he does that, and keep an eye out for when he's going to throw a maggot. He didn't do it this time because I haven't done enough damage yet. So now I'm praying range again. I'm just avoiding all the shadows from both the carry-on throw when he does his screech, and from the poison splash that he's going to throw. So right there, I've now probably done enough damage that he's going to throw a maggot off this screech. So I'm going to get ready, turn protection prayer off, shoot that with the longbow, turn my protection prayer on, resummon thrall. You see how much time that you have to do stuff in between his attacks. It can feel a little overwhelming when you're first starting, but you really have so much time to do stuff. I'm going to go ahead and pre-pot up here to get ready for my melee phase that's going to be coming next, because I've done enough damage that I know he's going to melee after this screech. So turn off, get ready. I'm going to shoot that. I'm going to put this on, start my spec, wait for the shadows, and run. And I'm going to try and get into a rhythm. 102, great hit. Right now I'm getting into a rhythm that you can do with the 4-tick weapon to do a lot of melee DPS. I'm going to spec him again. Alright, protection off. Get ready, I'm going to shoot this, and I'm going to get ready to pray. Range, I believe. Hopefully I didn't forget. Right, so he's ranging again, and that still follows the same pattern, alternating between range mage. So just try and remember the last thing he attacked you with before you enter the melee phase. So he's going to hit me with this before he does another screech. I'll turn my protection prayers off, and we'll enter another melee phase. So just going to DPS him as much as I can. Protection prayers off, and get ready for the melee phase. I'm going to shoot this maggot. And get ready, wait for the shadows, then run out of the way. And now I'm getting into this rhythm that I want. This, with the 4-tick weapon, is the rhythm that you really want to get into to do a lot of melee DPS really quickly. I kind of hear it as like a drum pattern almost, and it helps me stay in rhythm. So right now, he's going to screech again. He's going to just be in his enrage phase now, and I'm not going to worry about these maggots. There's too many of them. I wait for the shadow, run, and try and find that rhythm. And simple as that. Now he's dead. Alright, so I'm going to do another kill after this. I'll be right back. Alright, so for kill 2, I wanted to do a different style and a more budget setup. So you can even see like climbing boots here, barrows, gloves, things that I'm assuming that you have and can afford if you've completed this quest. So we'll go ahead and follow the same formula as the other one. Do our anti-poison, and we're going to be praying range when we enter. So this one's going to take a while longer, but still totally doable. I found it to be a lot better DPS if you don't have like a shadow, for instance, to just do range even with the adamant bolts. But right now we're not hitting too bad with the twin flame staff, so we're just gonna keep going. All right, protection prayer's off when he screeches, and then we switch to mage and make sure to avoid the shadows of the first carry-on hit because that does up to 20 damage. I've seen. Right now we're just avoiding the splats from his hits, so it hits us and dodge just like last kill. And we'll just continue to do that until we get the Maggot King down enough to begin our melee phases. Protection prayer's off. Still no maggot. Have not done enough damage. Switch back to rage. So this could take a little while, and I'll just keep trying to consolidate these splats as much as I can. And avoid them from hitting me, because they'll have different effects. For instance, the poison lowers my poison timer more quickly if I step on it or get hit by a splat. Protection prayer's off, and still not enough damage for the maggot. Oh no. Alright, so keep trying to damage as much as possible, and you can see why I prefer rage. And we will continue to do this until we phase it. It's at least good dodging practice. There's some hits. Now we have the maggot switch to longbow hit, and we're going to be switching back to protection prayers here. And I'll throw my gear back on. So once he gets to, I believe it's about 975 health is when we can get ready for the melee phase as well. So we're not too far off, thankfully. But this is good dodge practice, and hopefully we get a little burn on him to speed this up. I know he's going to shoot a maggot, and then I will switch to protection prayers. And get ready. Hopefully this phase, we can get him to enter melee phase as well. Getting close, getting close. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pot up based off that, and get ready, because now I've done enough damage that he will be doing melee next. And I picked a 5-tick weapon to show you that you can still kind of do the method I talked about. You might get a missed hit more likely, but wait for the shadows. And just get into that rhythm. Hit, step. I missed there. I'm going to move from the shadows. Oh, protective prayer's off. It's the end of the phase anyway. Wait for that, shoot the maggot, and I believe he's going to range me, but I have forgotten. I know a lot of people consider it pretty newbie, but I love inventory tags. It really helps me differentiate between what gear to put on next. And the whole point of this is I'm not claiming to be terribly good at the game. This is just ways to do what's supposed to be high-level content and get a few kills and get good items if you're an average player like me. So now I'm going to get ready, shoot that, switch into my melee gear, prayers on, step out of the way. So I've kind of messed with them up here. I'm just going to get back into it. There you go. DPS as much as possible. I have not done enough damage for it to enter the permanent enraged phase, so I'm just going to continue on with this. I believe he's going to, I guess, mage me next is what it would be. And I'm just going to keep doing as much DPS as possible in the meantime. And check my stats. Make sure I'm keeping everything topped off. Alright. Now I should hopefully be able to do enough. I'm going to ignore that grub, because I'm hoping that I can do enough damage that it won't really matter. It's pretty close. Alright, that should be enough. Oh no. Just missed it. Oh well. So the bottom has fallen out of this a bit. He's going to hit me off that. I got lucky. He should have hit. So I'm going to do a little more damage. I think if I had done one more point, well, that might have healed him a it. But if I think if I got him down to 274, we would have been able to keep this. So now you can see he's going to be permanent enraged because he sent out 4 maggots. I avoid the shadows and just try and get into the rhythm here. Nice Darox hits, always fun, but again, I find it much harder to be consistent with the hits than with a 4-tick. So it does take longer. Wait for the shadows if he stays. There we go. And that's it. And you can see there's still a ton of supplies left. It just took longer, but you can string together a lot of kills even in more budget gear. Let's see what I get. Rune Halberd.
Lastly, I just wanted to offer some advice. for the melee phase, as it's the most important phase in my opinion. So as soon as the shadows appear from his stomp, click to one tile adjacent to the furthest shadow, so you're on the outside, and then immediately as soon as your character is on that tile, click the boss. Then you'll automatically click in to step where a shadow will be and click the boss again for the extra hit and automatically click to step out. I know it sounds confusing, but if you watch the full speed clip, you can hear the rhythm, which I was referring to earlier in the video. I almost hear it like a drum pattern, and that helps me keep in time with my clicks and the ticks to do damage to the boss. I really recommend using the True Tile plugin. It helps to understand where your character is, even if your character doesn't appear to be there, and that way you can judge when to click the boss and when you're safe from the shadows. If you get out of rhythm, always prioritize dodging the shadows so you don't take damage. And that's pretty much it. You have more time than you think, and you can do this. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see or discuss anything in particular, I'm happy to make another video showcasing whatever I've discussed in the video you'd like to drill down on, or to talk about it further in the comments. So leave a comment if you want to chat on it or with what you want to see. And again, thank you so much for watching. Good luck.